another video, and for all of my new subscribers, hey, I see you! Thanks for subscribing, I really appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about rotating shifts. So when I was in nursing school, I pretty much only did my clinical during day shift, but during my final semester I had my preceptorship in the NICU and I did 6 weeks of night shift, which I really liked. Even though I did that night shift clinical, I also had 2 days of classes and I had a part-time job, which of course were during the day, so it was kind of like I rotated also. And as a new nurse, especially when you're doing a residency program, they require you to rotate shifts. So the reason they do this is because a lot of things that you do on day shift is different from what you do on night shift. So they want you to get the experience doing both so that you're comfortable with both if you ever have to do one shift or the other. So I initially wanted to work night shifts because I really liked it when I worked in the NICU. But like I said, new grad programs often want you to rotate. So let's just kind of talk about the differences between day shift and night shift. So night shifts are cool because, of course, you have your shift differential, so you get paid more. That's one great bonus. Also, I found that with different hospitals, the parking is better when you do night shift, which I like. When you do day shift, at least at my hospital, you have to do a parking ride. So you park in the parking lot and then the shuttle will take you to the hospital, and that's not all that fun and it takes up so much extra time. Another benefit to night shift, at least what I found on working in the NICU, is that it's usually not as crowded at night. You don't have so many people coming in to see the patients and just so much going on. But with that being said, it can still be busy. Your patients are going to be the same whether it's day shift or night shift, and your patient's condition can just change in the blink of an eye. So you can still be very busy. So don't think that I'm saying that during night shift you're not busy and that you're just sitting around doing nothing. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that the vibe is a little bit different, if that makes sense. Also, during night shift, I found that it's a lot easier for me to wake up and be alert. Like, I will wake up a whole hour before I even have to leave the house when I work night shifts, and I may even eat breakfast. But day shift, on the other hand, that does not happen. So let's talk about day shift. When I work day shift, I find myself a lot more tired, I would say. It's a lot harder for me to wake up in the morning. Like, I will lay in bed until the very last minute. I don't want to eat breakfast. I find myself eating coffee during day shift. So it's just, I don't know, I'm just not a morning person. Also in day shift, you may have more people coming in, like I said, so it's just a little bit different. So when I started my current job as a NICU nurse, I started off working 6 weeks straight of day shift, and then after that I did 6 weeks straight of night shift. And I really like the consistency because it's a lot easier for me to maintain my sleep schedule and just get used to everything. When I got off orientation, I was allowed to make my own schedule, but for some reason it wasn't working, and by the time it started working, all the good shifts were taken. So we make our schedule for a 6-week period, and we have certain requirements, so you have to work a certain number of Mondays, Fridays, and weekend shifts. And as a new nurse, they require us to work 3 weeks of day shift and 3 weeks of night shift. Our requirements are a little bit more than the other nurses who have been working there for quite some time. Now when I make my schedule, I like to do 3 weeks of day shift and 3 weeks of night shift. That way it's more consistent and I don't have to flip-flop, go back and forth so much. And also when you rotate from day shift or night shift and vice versa, you have to make sure you have 48 hours in between. So let's say you work day shift on Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You're not allowed to work night shift until Saturday because you have to have 48 hours in between to kind of get your sleep schedule changed and make sure you have enough rest so that you can practice safely with your patients. So now let's talk about the pros and cons of rotating. So let's actually start with the cons. One of the things that I don't like about rotating shifts is that my sleep schedule can be all over the place. It's kind of like when you were in school and you had summer break or winter break or whatever, and then when it's time to go back to school, you can't sleep and your sleep schedule is just all over the place. Another thing that I don't like about rotating shifts is that I feel like I don't get to see or speak with my friends and family like that, because if I'm working night shift, I'm up all night and I'm sleeping during the day, but my friends and family are on the opposite schedule. And that can make it hard. Also, when you're working night shift, you can't really go to the store or go to the mall when you're up because everything is closed. So you really have to take advantage of that like small window of time when you're up from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and go do everything then. So now for the pros of rotating shift, one of the things that I like is that you're not stuck with just one or the other. So like I said, I prefer night shifts, but I find that I don't get to talk to my friends or family like that. But because I get to rotate, I do get to switch to day shift, and I have that time to see them and, talk to them. I get to, finally get to run my errands when I'm back on day shift. But also, let's say I'm working day shifts and I'm tired of having to do the park and ride, ride the bus to the hospital. It's nice to get switched back to night shift and, have all of those benefits. Another pro to rotating shifts is that you get to experience things that are done both on night shift and day shift. Like I said, you do different things depending on the shift, and they really do want you to get that experience, which is why they rotate you during your first year as a new grad nurse. For example, on night shift, we may do line changes, weigh your patients, and a few other things. And on day shift, you may do discharges or take your patients to the OR or MRI. So it's really good that you get experience with doing both, because if you just work night shifts, you're really not going to really know how to do discharges or other things that are done on day shift. So now let me just tell you a few tips to help you with rotating shifts. The first thing I would say is to maybe try out melatonin. Now this is something that I don't do, but I know a lot of nurses swear by it. So if you find that your body and your mind are on different schedules and you just can't seem to sleep, try out some melatonin. Another thing that you can try out is coffee. So I was never one to drink coffee until I started my current job. I really only drink it on day shifts, but I really like to limit how much I drink because I don't want to be one of those people that can't function without coffee, and so I actually haven't had coffee in about 2 months, but it definitely helps on certain days. My third tip would be to gradually change your sleep schedule when you know that you're about to switch. So if you're working day shifts, let's say you worked Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So you've got your 3 shifts for the week out the way and you're off the rest of the week. So on those days that you're off for the rest of the week, I would slowly start to stay up later and later so that way you can gradually change your sleep schedule. This always helps me, and this is what I like to do. My final tip is to just find what works for you. So like I said, I like to make my schedule to be a little more consistent, so I'll do 3 weeks of day shift and then 3 weeks of night shift. Now if you don't like that, you can rotate more often. I know some people rotate like every 1 to 2 weeks because that's what works for them. I don't like that. Also another thing is when I'm on night shift for 3 weeks straight, I keep my sleep schedule the same. So even on my days off, I will stay up all night and I'll sleep all day. I know some people don't do that. Like if they work night shift Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and they're off the rest of the week, they will go back to having a regular sleep schedule when they're up all day and they sleep at night, even when they have to, work night shift the next week. I don't like doing that because I don't have kids, I don't have pets, my family doesn't live here, I don't have a boyfriend, so I don't need to be up with anybody, so I keep my sleep schedule consistent. That's what works for me, so you just have to find what works for you. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any special requests or anything that you want me to talk about, just let me know, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will catch you in the next video.